Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to crack the code on a super powerful communication tool that you see literally every day in the news, in formal reports, maybe even in movie credits. It's a way of phrasing things that can totally change the impact of a sentence. Let's see if you can catch on. Okay, here's our first clue. Coffee was first roasted in Yemen in the 15th century. Now, pay close attention to how that's phrased. I mean, it seems simple enough, but there's a very deliberate choice happening right there. Okay, here's another one, this time from the world of movies. Jurassic Park was filmed by Spielberg. Starting to see a pattern here? And how about this one? A classic news headline. You hear stuff like this all the time, right? A bank was robbed yesterday. But there's a very specific reason it's written exactly like that. All right, so what is the secret sauce here? We've got history, movies, the news. They're all using the same little grammatical trick. What do you think it is? Okay, so the secret isn't some complicated, fancy word. It's all about perspective. It's a technique for deciding what the star of the sentence is, and then shining a big old spotlight right on it. Okay, check this out. Both of these sentences are telling us the exact same thing happened. But on the left, someone stole my bike, the focus is on the someone, the doer. But on the right, my bike was stolen, who's the star? The bike. The focus is on the thing that was affected. That is the power of this little secret weapon in action. And drumroll please, that secret is called the passive voice. Basically, it's when the subject of the sentence is just kind of sitting there having something done to it, instead of doing the thing itself. It's all about choosing where to point the camera, you know? Now, don't think of this as just another boring grammar rule you have to memorize for a test. Think of the passive voice as your strategic toolkit. And knowing when to pull out the right tool, well, that's what makes you sound like a pro. So, when do you actually pull this tool out of the bag? Well, a few key times. First, when you have no idea who did the action, like our bank robbery example. Or when the doer is super obvious or just doesn't matter. The robber was arrested. Yeah, by the police, obviously. It's also perfect when you want to sound more formal or scientific, a bit more objective. And finally, when the action itself is the real headline. The important thing isn't who delivered the letters, just that they were delivered. And this right here, this is why it's an absolute game changer in any academic or professional setting. You'll see it everywhere, in reports, scientific papers, official memos. It just adds that level of authority and formality. Okay, so you're sold. You want to use it. But how do you actually build one of these sentences? Well, guess what? It's way easier than it sounds. There's a super simple, reliable formula you can follow every time. Here it is, the whole secret recipe. You just need three things. The thing receiving the action, that's your object, then some form of the verb to be, and finally the past participle of your main verb. Let's break that down. And the cool thing is, this formula works for all sorts of tenses. For present simple, you use is. Alioli is made. For past simple, you use was. The house was built. See the pattern? The only thing that's really changing is that little verb to be. It can be is being for an ongoing action or has been for a past action with present results, but the rest of the structure, it stays locked in place. This is the most important part to remember, so listen up. That past participle, words like made, built, constructed, grown, it's the rock. It never ever changes. All you do is swap out the be verb to match the tense you need. So easy, right? It makes it almost foolproof. All right, let's bring it all home. We started by spotting a pattern, then we figured out it's all about shifting focus, and now we even have the formula to build it ourselves. So what does this all mean for us when we're trying to get our point across? This, right here, is the big idea I want you to walk away with. Grammar isn't just a dusty old rulebook you have to follow. It's a series of choices. When you use the passive voice, you are the director. You're choosing what the audience focuses on. It's about taking control of your message. But of course, with great power comes great responsibility. You probably don't want to use the passive voice all the time. When you're just chatting with friends, it can sound a little stuffy. And a quick heads up, some verbs just can't be made passive. Like, you'd never say a car is had by me or his father is resembled by him. It just sounds weird because, well, it's wrong. So, I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. From now on, I want you to be a detective. When you read the news, when you look at your work emails, start noticing where the passive voice pops up and ask yourself, Okay, what are they putting the spotlight on here? And maybe even more interesting, what or who is being kept in the shadows? I think you'll be pretty surprised by what you start to see.